Your Majesty, she's been hunting you and your family for years. Why would you ask me to spare her life?
This mountain once bustled with dwarves, and now they are gone. Dead so that I might keep my crown. My parents, my maids and courtiers, all of Lord Devonsy's men. Too many have died for my sake.
Your Majesty, think of the political ramifications.
If Jeyne Kassynder dies, do you think the cities of the East will bow their heads? No. They will curse us for murdering their living saint, and the war will drag on.
Whereas if we come to an agreement and Jeyne is kept alive, the war ends peacefully.
You assume that the woman will surrender at all. I wouldn't make such a wager.
If she's willing to surrender, I'll let Jeyne live.
Lord Devonsy will surely chastise me for my gentle nature, but I am sure this is the right course. Whatever happens, the Legion has my trust and support.
I shall send riders to all the towns and villages that support the Queen with news of our alliance. You have the word of the Royal Court. All Western Ehb will stand united behind the Legion.
Perhaps now we can finally leave this fetid mine.
We've won a respite, I suppose. But the war goes on.
That Kassynder woman is still strong. She'll be back with an even bigger army.
You've turned this war around. If only my sons had lived to see it. Wish I could have stood with you against that Azunite scum.
When my husband reclaims our land, we shall pay our debt to the Legion.
Perhaps now we can finally leave this fetid mine.
We've won a respite, I suppose. But the war goes on.
If not for you, our queen would be captured and we would all be dead.
They're saying that the battle is won. Does this mean that we can leave the mines?
We've come a long way from that filthy swamp, haven't we? You've given us a victory that will be remembered for years to come. Escorting you to the causeway is the least that we can do. Are you ready to go?
Yes, let's head to the causeway.
We've had rumors of another battle. Is it true? Jeyne Kassynder's army retreating in disarray?
She is beaten. The only misfortune is that Jeyne herself survived.
And Roslyn, what did you think of her? Worthy to wear the crown or no?
She has a kind and temperate nature, but I saw some iron underneath. I think she'll make a good queen.
Kind and temperate is a far cry from her grandfather. Perhaps this exile has been a blessing for her family after all. What about our proposal? Does she favor the Legion?
Roslyn agreed to an alliance. She and Devonsey gave their word.
Well done. But that's not all, is it? The news can't all be good.
Jeyne Kassynder is the daughter of the old king. She told me herself. You never knew?
I always thought that was just a rumor. This changes things.
If Jeyne Kassynder is the old king's daughter, then she has a claim to the throne. Probably thinks it's her right.
Better to strike now while she's off balance. Still reeling from her loss at Glitterdelve.
Or maybe Jeyne will listen to reason now that she's tasted defeat.
You bloodied her nose and you stung her pride, that's true. But the army you destroyed was only a small part of her strength. If we try to talk, we'll only give her time to rebuild. We need an ally who can distract her forces while we go after Jeyne herself.
We've already sealed an alliance with the Meisters. Perhaps they'll lend us their automaton army.
Jeyne could be anywhere. Do you know where she's gone?
Jeyne's capital is 5 days' march from here, maybe more. She calls it the Spire. Half cathedral, half fortress, on the summit of a mountain. That's where she'll be. The most impregnable stronghold in Ehb.
I'll speak to the council. I think the Meisters will agree.
Hard to predict what the council will do, but you're probably right. We'll wait for your word.
Please do not litter or excrete in alleyways. Please do not litter or excrete in alleyways.
Ah, the envoy from the 10th Legion. Always a pleasure to receive our good friend.
We plan to attack Jeyne Kassynder, but we can't defeat her alone. The Legion needs your automaton army.
And leave our city undefended? That, seems rather rash, does it not?
Irrelevant. We made a contract with the Legion, Meister Grimmelhaus. The Council is not above the law.
I suppose...
Capital! I can have the automatons ready in short order! Shall I make ready to leave? I should warn you, we may not return to Stonebridge again before this war is over.
How many automatons are left? I destroyed a lot of them.
The Gent only managed to take control of about half of our automatons, and not all of those were destroyed, so the army is intact. Jeyne's forces may outnumber us, but her soldiers have never faced automatons before. I dare say that will work in our favor.
I don't see any reason to wait. We'll leave for the Spire as soon as you're able.
The Spire stands atop Mount Jereb. That's a week's march from here, on foot. Our automatons will assault the town of Aegis Bay at the foot of the mountain. They'll engage Jeyne's forces and provide a distraction, you see. That will give you a chance to climb the trails to the top of the mountain and assault the spire itself. It will be an honor to fight alongside the Legion, and may fortune smile upon our endeavor.
At long last, the tide turned. No longer was the 10th Legion fighting a defensive war. With the automaton army of Stonebridge behind us, we took the battle to our enemy. Under the command of Martin Guiscard and Meister Wolf, our army poured forth from Stonebridge in a flood of iron and flame. The journey was a long one and difficult. Had you marched with soldiers of flesh and blood, I do not doubt that many would have died, but the automatons were tireless. At last you reached your goal, the spire. Crowning the sacred mountain of Jereb, it was the heart of Jeyne Kassynder's strength. No army had ever conquered it. Azunite zealots and Stonebridge automatons clashed at the mountain's foot. Blind faith and cold reason struggled for dominance as the ground churned with oil and blood. Above the clamor of the battle, you ascended a forgotten path up the mountain, seeking the spire itself.
Wait, no weapons. We've come to talk, not to fight.
Quickly, Rashani. We shouldn't be here.
Jeyne doesn't know you're here, does she?
We only speak for ourselves, not for Our Lady.
Jeyne is first among our sisters, like her mother before her. We don't want to betray her, but...
Jeyne has lost her way. She talks of visions and dreams. A great tree, carrion birds. She claims to hear the voices of our lost gods in her mind, and that proves she is mad.
Maybe she is hearing the voices of your gods.
Our gods are dead, tumbled from the heavens and gone. We sought them long, across 1,000 divine realms, and never found a trace.
Not true, sister. Jeyne's mother claimed to have discovered a remnant. A forgotten seed of the first creation, the handiwork of our gods. But none of us ever saw.
What kind of seed do you mean?
She never told us the form it took, only that she could sense the power that shaped the world, still alive and potent within.
What gods do you mean?
The creator gods, who we served long ago. Or, so we have always believed. We have no memories of them, only stories that we tell, and faith that they are true.
Jeyne commands the Azunite Church, but she worships these creator gods in secret?
She claims to be faithful to Azunai, so that her followers won't abandon her. And she doesn't deny that he is real. But her true faith, her secret faith, has always been to our gods, to the gods of her mother.
So what do you propose?
You spared my life in Raven's Rill, and when you spoke to Jeyne in Glitterdelve, you weren't the monster that she said you'd be. I don't want to see my sisters destroyed in Jeyne's pointless war. Too few of us are left. We ask for your mercy, for our sisters and for Jeyne herself. In return, we'll grant you whatever aid we can.